This is not a facelift. This is not a marketing department special with some stripes and a new wheel color. This is Maserati ripping up everything comfortable about the MC20 and building the car the engineers wanted to build from day one. A road-legal GT2 race car with license plates. And they're only going to build 914 of them, and the price, depending on where you are in the world in 2027, starts around £250,000 for a used early car, but new you are looking at too. £173,000 bare, £338,000 with the spec you actually want in the UK, $311,000 in the US, and over $650,000 in Australia, for what might be the last pure combustion Maserati supercar we will ever see, the Maserati GT2 Stradale, 640 horsepower, 1,365 kilos dry, 2.8 seconds to 60, 201 miles per hour, and a story that starts way before the MC20. To understand why this car exists, you have to understand how close Maserati came to disappearing. Go back to 2019, Maserati was selling rebadged Chryslers, gibless with diesel engines. The brand was dying, average age of buyer was 60, no one under 40 wanted one. Then they bet everything, absolutely everything, on a carbon fiber supercar built in Medina, in the historic plant where the Enzo and the Alpha 8C were built, with an engine completely designed and built by Maserati themselves for the first time in 20 years. That car was the MC20, and it worked. It reminded the world that Maserati could do engineering, not just leather and sound. The engine was called Nettuno, Neptune in Italian, and it was insane for a road car. A 3-liter, 90-degree twin-turbo V6, but with a pre-chamber combustion system copied directly from Formula One, 2 spark plugs per cylinder, one in the pre-chamber and one normal, twin combustion, twin spark, double injection, direct and indirect, dry sump so it never starved for oil under 5G of lateral load, 630 horsepower from 3 liters. That was a foundation. But Maserati did not stop there. While they were selling MC20s to collectors, their racing department, Maserati Course, took that same carbon tub, that same engine, and built a pure race car to go back to racing after 13 years away. That car was the MC20 GT2. It debuted in the Fanatec GT2 European Series, and it started winning immediately because the base car was already a race car underneath, and racers started saying, "Can we have this at the road? Can we have the GT2 but with plates?" Porsche does it with the GT3 RS. Lamborghini does it with the STO. Ferrari does it with the Challenge Stradale cars. Maserati had never done it. So the brief for the GT2 Stradale was simple and brutal. Take the GT2 race car, make it pass emissions, make it pass noise just barely, make it pass crash tests, and make it road legal. No comfort added, only performance. Let's walk around it slowly because every single surface is different from a normal MC20. Even though at a glance you might think it is just a body kit, it is not. The carbon monocoque is the same Dallara-built tub, but the entire front clamshell is new. The front splitter is massive. It is made of exposed carbon, and it is adjustable. You can actually pull it out and change the angle if you have tools and know what you're doing, just like on a race car. The hood is new. It has huge twin vents that extract hot air from the radiators, and those vents are functional. You can see heat shimmer coming out of them when the car is stationary. The front fenders are wider by 20 millimeters each side, and they have huge louvered vents on top to release pressure from the wheel arches, which reduces lift. The doors are the same butterfly doors, still carbon, still dramatic, but the side skirts are deeper, more aggressive, with little winglets. And then you get to the back, and this is where it becomes obvious this is not a normal supercar. The roof gets an optional, but everyone orders it, snorkel intake, a big scoop inspired by the GT2 race car that feeds air directly to the engine. It is not just for show. At high speed, it creates positive pressure in the airbox, like ram air. Below that, the rear glass is replaced with a polycarbonate window with less curvature to save weight and to show off the engine. The engine cover is lower. It has more mesh, more carbon. And then the wing. That wing defines this car. It is a proper swan neck wing, mounted from the top, so the underside, which does all the work, is completely clean. It is carbon fiber. It is 20 centimeters wider than the body. It is adjustable in 3 positions: low drag, medium, high downforce, and it works with a completely new rear diffuser that is so deep you could fit your forearm in it, and a flat floor with vortex generators. Maserati says at 280 kilometers per hour, 174 miles per hour, the car makes over 500 kilos of downforce. 500. The standard MC20 makes about 100 kilos at the same speed, so you have 5 times the downforce. That means in fast corners, the faster you go, the more grip you have. On the road, you will not feel 500 kilos, but on track, at Mugello, at Silverstone, at the Nürburgring where this car will inevitably go, it is the difference between lifting and staying flat. Now open the butterfly door, and you realize they were serious about less is more. Step over the carbon sill, and you drop into sable carbon buckets. These are not the comfortable seats from the MC20 Cielo. These are full carbon, fixed back, 6 kilos each, with huge side bolsters with the Trident embroidered in the headrest, and they are available with 4-point harnesses. You do not adjust the seat, you adjust the pedal box and the steering wheel. Just like a race car, the steering wheel itself is new, Alcantara everywhere, no leather, with a blue 12 o'clock stripe carbon trim, integrated shift lights that flash from green to red as you approach 8,000 revolutions per minute, and the start button on the wheel like a Ferrari. The airbag is still there, but everything else is stripped. The center console is full exposed carbon. The door card are carbon and Alcantara. The headliner is Alcantara. If you want, you can delete the 10.25-inch infotainment screen. You can delete the air conditioning. You can delete the passenger seat. You can even get a plexiglass rear window to save 2 more kilos. Most UK cars will not be that extreme. They will have AC and the lift system, because without lift, that front splitter will die on the first speed bump outside Harrods. But even with AC, this cabin feels special because it feels purposeful. There are only 2 colors really, black carbon and whatever Alcantara color you choose. But Maserati Fiorezzi will let you go crazy. You see exposed carbon weave on the floor. You see the aluminum pedals that are drilled like a race car. You see the plaque on the carbon tunnel that says one of 914. Why 914? Because Maserati was founded in Bologna in 1914. So only 914 cars will ever be made. Not 914 per year, 914 total. That instantly makes it collectible. Every single one has that plaque. Every single one is numbered. And when you press the start button, the whole car shakes because those engine mounts are stiffer. The exhaust is lighter. Let's talk about that engine properly. Because the Nettuno is the star, and in Stradale spec it finally gets to breathe. Same 3.0-liter 90-degree V6, twin turbo, but new turbos with better bearings, new wastegate calibration, new exhaust cam, and a completely new exhaust system co-developed with Akrapovic in titanium. Power goes from 630 to 640 horsepower at 7,500 revolutions per minute. Torque is 531 pound-feet, or 538 in some markets, from 3,000 to 5,500 revolutions per minute. So only 10 horsepower more, but the way it makes power is completely different. It revs harder. It revs faster. The limiter is still 8,000 revolutions per minute, but it gets there quicker because the flywheel is lighter. And the sound, oh my God, the sound. The normal MC20 sounds a bit muted because of gasoline particulate filters and turbos. The GT2 Stradale has less filtering, less insulation, and that titanium exhaust with no muffler bypass that opens late. It is open almost all the time. Cold start is violent. It barks, it spits, it pops on the overrun in Corsa mode. At full throttle, at 7,500 revolutions per minute in third gear, it is not a V6 growl. It is a scream with turbo whistle and wastegate flutter. It sounds like the GT2 race car you watch on TV. It is the best sounding V6 you can buy today. Better than a 296 GTB. Better than an Artura, because it is raw, not synthesized. Transmission is the same 8-speed dual clutch from Tremec, but recalibrated for faster shifts, 20% faster in Corsa mode, with bigger paddles that are fixed to the column, so you always know where they are. Rear-wheel drive only. No hybrid, no front motors. Just a mechanical limited slip differential that is more aggressive, with a new E-diff calibration that lets you slide more before it cuts. And you will slide because even with Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires, 245 front, 305 rear on 20-inch forged wheels, 640 horsepower and 1,365 kilos dry, which is about 1,560 kilos curved with fluids, is a lot. Power to weight is 468 horsepower per ton dry, better than a 911 GT3 RS. Chassis is where race car tech really shows. The GT2 Stradale does not use normal adaptive dampers. It uses two-way adjustable Bilstein dampers up front and four-way adjustable if you get the performance pack in the rear. That means you can adjust compression and rebound separately, low speed and high speed, just like a GT3 car. Most owners will never touch them. But for track guys, you can set the car up for the Nürburgring versus Monza. It also gets uni-ball joints instead of rubber bushings in the rear, stiffer springs, 10% stiffer front, 15% rear, and a 10 millimeters lower ride height. The steering is still hydraulically assisted. Maserati refused to go electric here, so it is heavy at low speed but alive with feedback at high speed. And the brakes, massive carbon ceramics, 390 millimeters front with 6-piston calipers, 360 millimeters rear with 4-piston, with ABS and traction control maps taken directly from the GT2 race car. You get Corsa mode, Corsa with ESC off, and then full race mode with traction control adjustable in 8 positions on a little rotary knob on the steering wheel, like a Ferrari 488 Challenge. How does it drive? Everyone who has driven it says the same thing. It is intimidating for 5 minutes, then completely intuitive. Around town, because it is still an MC20 tub, it is surprisingly usable. You have front lift, you have a decent view forward, the clutch is not brutal. But the second you put in Sport or Corsa and find a back road, it transforms. The front end bites instantly, no understeer. The rear is planted because of that wing. You can get on power earlier than you think. The standard MC20 feels a bit soft at the limit. This does not. It feels locked. On track at Mugello, journalists who drove it back-to-back with a standard MC20 said it is 4 seconds a lap faster, which is huge. And more importantly, it does not overheat. It does not fade. You can do 10 laps and the brakes are the same. The temps are the same. It is a track car you can drive to the track. Now competitors, because at 273,000 pounds to 338,000 pounds, you have choices. A Porsche 911 GT3 RS is 192,000 pounds. Cheaper, more precise, maybe better built, but slower in a straight line, less exotic. Everyone has one. A McLaren 750S is 283,000 pounds. Similar price. More power at 750 horsepower, but heavier, more fragile reputation. A Ferrari 296 GTB is 336,000 pounds. Hybrid, 819 horsepower, but 1,545 kilos dry, heavier, more complex. A Lamborghini Huracan Technica is similar money, but naturally aspirated V10. Less downforce. The Maserati sits in the middle. It is rarer than all of them. Only 914 units versus thousands of GT3 RS. It is more dramatic, and it has that Maserati badge, which for some people still means more than Porsche. Ownership be warned. Maserati service is not Porsche service. Intervals are 12 months or 12,000 miles. Carbon brakes are expensive. Cup 2R tires last 3,000 miles if you are lucky. Fuel economy, if you care, is about 18 miles per gallon combined, but on track, single digits. But Maserati gives you 4 years warranty, for years servicing in some markets, and that Fiorisery customization means your car can be truly one-of-one. So in 2027, as everything goes electric, as Maserati itself launches the MC20 Folgore Electric, why does this car matter? Because it is probably the last non-hybrid, pure combustion, carbon tub Maserati ever made. It is the last time Maserati will take a race car, strip it, add plates, and sell it to you. It is loud. It is impractical. The wing blocks your rear view. The seats hurt after 2 hours. The front splitter scrapes. It drinks fuel, and it is absolutely glorious. If you are watching this and you have a deposit down, congratulations, you bought one of the future classics. If you are watching this and you are saving, used prices in 2027 are already holding above 250,000 pounds, even with a few thousand miles, because people know only 914 exist. And if you are just a car lover, go see one in person, go hear one start. Because in 10 years, when everything is silent, you will remember the day you heard a GT2 Stradale scream to 8,000 revolutions per minute with that titanium exhaust echoing off buildings. So would you take the Maserati GT2 Stradale over a Porsche GT3 RS or McLaren 750S? Would you pay £338,880 for a Maserati that is basically a race car? Let me know in the comments, and tell me what color you would spec with Furizzi, Rosso Vincente, Blue Infinito, Giallo Genio, or classic Bianco Audis. If you want the full on-board lap from Mugello in the drag race against the MC20 and the old MC12, hit subscribe, because that video is coming next.